Okay, so now we have the camera going, a good quality. So, Carpe Diem, let's discuss what you just mentioned. Thank you. Carpe Diem says thumbs up for Mehran, our master teacher. Well, delighted to hear that you're enjoying the channel. So, Carpe Diem says that his ex still trying to control his life by telling him what to do and how to live, and she's apparently left him and has a child with another marriage. And Carpe Diem, you don't have a child with her, do you? Says has a kid with second guy, now getting second divorce. To tell you the truth, I'm lonely. So you don't have a child, you don't have children with her, right? You don't have children with her, Carpe Diem? No. Okay, so you don't have any child with her, but since she left you, she got married with somebody else, and she has a kid with that person and in that relationship, and she's now divorcing that guy and whatever. Yeah, she has one child now. All right. Look, the short of the long is, do not go back to her. I don't care how lonely you are. The main point here is you're not separating the source of pleasure, which in this case is her for you, and the pleasure is intimacy, and that's all. There are many sources, many points of pleasure in a relationship and in life in general. And as far as relationship concerned, there are many points of pleasure. Getting to know your partner, having activities, sporting activities, intellectual activities, discussions, communications, interactions, conversations, sharing projects, and all these things, having each other's back, having each other's best interests in mind. All these are all pleasures that a relationship can have. But the other side of the coin is also correct, that none of that exists in a relationship. The only pleasure that is coming to you, or to the two, or in this case we're talking about you, the man, is sex, is intimacy. If you are not focused on understanding the reason for your desire, that it is pleasure through intimacy, and if you do not separate the source of this pleasure from the person who is the source of the pleasure, you're in deep shit. Because then you will interpret the pleasure as, and the pleasure is pleasure, who would not want to have pleasure? Then you would interpret the pleasure as the person. You must separate the pleasure you receive from that person with the person who actually is facilitator of this pleasure. They're two different things. Two different things. One is the persona, the person, the part that you're not getting along, the part that is toxic, the part that you don't want to have anything to do with, the part that caused the breakup. The reason that you guys are not together is your consciousnesses, is the persona of the two, the fact that you're not compatible. If you do not separate that from the pleasure you receive from this person that you can't have things in common, you will think that the pleasure is the person. That's why you miss her, even though you know it's toxic. You can't stand it. She's telling you what to do, what not to do, and trying to, leave you, go to another guy, have a kid with that one, and come back. Why would you take her back? Because you haven't separated her from what she can facilitate. What she can facilitate has nothing to do with her. It is not a credit to her. She has had no saying in that. You're a heterosexual male, you love women, you're attracted to that. For intimacy, for procreation, is how your genes are programmed. She was born a female. She has nothing to do with the fact that you're attracted to the fact that she's a woman. But the part that you can't stand, she has everything to do with that. Because that is how she has made her to be in this life. How she has developed her into being who she is. And who she is and who you are is not compatible. But you can't see that because you haven't separated her from her gender. But you're programmed to want her femininity. That is not a credit to her. She has no responsibility to be the woman that she is. She looks that way. She was born that way. And you're programmed to want that, to love that. The sex, the intimacy. So you gotta separate the woman, who she is, from the vagina. If you can't do that, you're deep shit. Because you will think what you receive pleasure is her. But who she is totally different than her sexuality. So, you have to understand that her conditioning in life, her personality, her needs, her shortcomings, her understanding, her lack of it, education or lack of it, pondering, everything else she's been exposed in life has made her who she is. But none of that has anything to do with how she is as her gender. In this case, you like her because she's a woman. You don't like her because of who she is as a person. You have to have more respect for women. You have to have more respect for women because women are not just piece of meat that you would think of them. All they are is their vagina. All they are is their sex. All they are is the pleasure that you receive from intimacy with them. They're far beyond that. That may be 1,000 years ago a woman. Today's woman is wise, intelligent, capable, appreciative, able to create life, do things, accomplish important tasks in life. So therefore, because of that credentials and quality and capabilities of a woman today, you must expect more from them. That is the respect that you will offer them. That I don't see you as just a sexual entity that I love. I see you as a capable, wise, intelligent, logical, educated person. And for that, I expect a lot more from you, to be a lot more than just facilitating sex. That would mean, oh, you bring pleasure. And that makes you feel good. But what makes you feel good is not necessarily good for you. Exactly, point in case in this one. She makes you feel good because she's a woman, and you are a heterosexual male, you love women, and you have intimacy with her, you make you feel great. But feeling good doesn't mean that she is good for you, because obviously how your experience shows she's not good for you. Toxic relationship and not getting along and consciousness is different. So you have to expect more from women today because she's a lot more than she used to be 1,000 years ago. And to respect her is to expect her to be compatible with you, be educated, wise, capable, unselfish, ability to accomplish important tasks, and they can. And when you expect that, then you will see if she can offer that or not. And you should offer the same. All these wonderful credentials that I talked about, you should also bring to the table. So when you bring the same things on to the table, then you have things in common. But when you do not care about what she brings to the table, and you only think about how she looks, she's in high heels, she's got the hair dewed up, she's got the body and the fitness, but that has nothing to do with who she is. That has to do with what turns you on. And you cannot live with what turns you on, because you will not build a relationship with what turns you on. You build a relationship with the person who is actually directing what that turns you on. So, you cannot have a relationship with pretty. You cannot have a relationship with pleasure. You don't build a relationship with pleasure. You don't build relationship with pretty. You don't build relationship with vagina. You don't build relationship with sexuality. You build relationship with that person who happens to be a beautiful woman that turns you on. But you gotta separate them. Your relationship goes wrong because of who she is and who you are. It doesn't go wrong because the sex is great, obviously. It has no need to fuss with it. It's a natural given. It's in your genes, her gene, your gene. You're heterosexual, male and female, you want it. That's it. But that is not an evidence that you're also a match because you want each other's to, yeah? If you focus on what I'm saying is that you, bottom line is you gotta focus on who she is, not how she looks like. You can't build a relationship with how one looks like. You build a relationship with the consciousness of that person that looks like that. Have you built that connection with her consciousness? No, you said no. Through your experiences, you know that it didn't work. That's why it broke up. That's why she's gone somewhere else, and then it's not even making that work. And she's not thinking enough. She has a child and she wants to divorce that one. Obviously, she's not making choices based on proper selection. She just branch to branch. Why? I don't know. I don't care. But you should know and you should care. If you want to be in a relationship with what makes you feel good because of the pleasure, you gotta find out who is that person who facilitating that pleasure that makes you feel good. Otherwise, you cannot rely on the fact that pleasure means whoever is the source of the pleasure is also the right choice. That's not how you choose a match. So separate the two, then you will know what's good for you. And at age 40, what is it? You're top of your game. Are you nuts? At age 40, you're the man that every woman that is qualified, that is attracted to you, would be seeking you. Because a 40-year-old man has had a few experiences of life, understands life better, has settled down, has got some job and some career at that point, has accumulated some wealth in wisdom and in financial situations, points, and physically is at the top of his game, strongest than ever, and you are just approaching the top of your game, which is age 45. So there is no reason for you to think that you're not a suitable, sought after part of this whole dating market. So if you're just be a little bit more selective, you probably end up with better quality of relationships. And looks like that I'm out of the box there, so I may not be focused. I gotta go like this. So having said all that, and then you should have more confidence in yourself and where you are in your life, and expect a lot more from yourself, respect yourself more, and expect a lot more from the woman that you want to have a relationship with. You're not looking for replacing sex for relationship. You're looking for a relationship. So look for quality that is compatible with you, and on that basis, make a better relationship. That's all I have to say on that, and I hope that would be helpful to you. All right, let me fix that little bit of the thingy on the camera. I'll be right back. In the meantime, you can have a tea for yourself and prepare for more. That should do it. Okay. Oh yeah. So, Carpe Diem says, thank you so much for your input. It means a lot. Do you still think I should not respond to her negative message? My gut says no. Why should you respond to her? You should block her. If she keeps responding to her, she's conditioning you to be dependent on her words, whatever it is, nonsense or wise or whatever. You just expect that, because that's why sometimes some people keep texting each other even though one of them is not available or interested. They keep doing it over time. When they stop, the other person feels, oh, something's missing, because even though they weren't interested in that person who was texting them, but now they're missing the text because they've been conditioned. They've been conditioned to expect it. And now they think something is wrong. And for that to be fixed, they start complying. They start responding to those texts, which is to a person that they're not interested. That's why the quality of that relationship, even if it starts, is low and eventually is going to break up, because it didn't have the right intentions to begin with. The reason they are together are for different purposes, are different. The other one was conditioned to, the other one thought that I'm lonely, I have to. All these things affects your proper choices. So she sends you all these, you just simply say, why are you sending me these things? The fact that you can't face her, you can't tell her, stop sending me these texts, because you want something from her. You want sex and intimacy because you think you miss her, because you think you should miss her. Why should you miss her? Think about it. Think about how the relationship was. Why should you miss a relationship that was toxic and broke up, and the girl's gone to someone else, have a child, and you want to bring her back into your life and raise, what, her child? Why? Why is it your responsibility? Go on and do not give in to your urges, sexual urges. Choose a woman with your brain, the rest of it will be just fine. But choose a woman with your, there's no guarantee it will be fine. It'll break for the same reasons. If the only motivation that you have to choose this woman or choose each other for sex, well, that's a no-brainer. I mean, that's need no qualification. You're a heterosexual male, heterosexual woman, naturally you'll be fine having sex. But you're not building a relationship based on sex. Because if that's the case, 6 months down the road is no novelty anymore. And you will separate because you have nothing compatible, nothing to share, no bonding on consciousness level. How many actors and actresses are handsome and gorgeous? The gorgeous woman and a handsome man, actors and actresses, they get married, right? But why do they get divorced? The man is handsome, the girl is gorgeous. Why do they get divorced then? Isn't it all about body and sex and looks? Well, of course not. That's why they got divorced, because it was all about body and look and sex. There was nothing else. And you can't have a relationship based on your urges. You have a relationship with each other's consciousness. The consciousness should be compatible, and that takes time to get to know each other consciousness, each other fears, desires, ego, all things that makes you to be who you are. And that's when you have a relationship. I should have been looking there instead of there. I don't know where to look. Here, there. So, so hope that will help you out. Carpe Diem. You have everything you need to make it the right decision. Do not let your friend down there make the decision for you that you should be making it with here. Yeah? Definitely not at this age anymore. Maybe you, when you were much younger. Okay. And he says, thank you for the boost of confidence. You're welcome, but that's true. You should have known it yourself. Age 40, you're just beginning to approach the top of your game. Way away from that. So don't hurry. Find a good quality woman for what you're looking for as far as compatibility between your center, your persona, your consciousness, and then go from there. Of course, you want someone who meets your physical expectations. That's goes without saying. But that should not be the only criteria that you should look at. The bigger and more important criteria is the one that we just talked about. All right, let's move on from this to